Have you started to notice that something just feels off? Maybe it's not dramatic. Maybe it's not even easy to explain, but something's shifting in your body, and deep down, you're beginning to worry. You wake up feeling more tired than usual. Your heart skips a beat or races when it shouldn't. Your memory feels just a little slower. And when you look in the mirror, you notice something different in your face, but you can't quite put your finger on it. Is this just aging? Or is something else going on? If you drink alcohol regularly, even if it's just a few, this video may be one of the most important things you've watched in years, because today I'm going to walk you through 5 of the earliest signs that alcohol might already be damaging your health, silently, steadily, and deeply. And more importantly, I'll show you exactly what you can do to start reversing the damage, starting today. These signs are easy to ignore. That's what makes them so dangerous. But once you see them clearly, you can take action. And believe me, it's never too late. So stay with me. Sign number 3 might just save your life. Now, you might be wondering, what are these signs I'm talking about? They're not dramatic, and they rarely show up all at once. But if you drink alcohol regularly, they're among the first red flags your body quietly waves when things start going wrong. These aren't just random symptoms. They're specific, measurable, and supported by research. We're talking about 5 early warning signs, each one backed by science, that your drinking might already be damaging your brain, your heart, your appearance, and even your weight. And no, these signs aren't always obvious. That's why they get missed so often. People look the other way. They say, I'm just getting older, or it's probably just stress. But here's the truth. Aging doesn't have to look and feel this way. What if, just what if, these changes weren't just part of growing older, but signs your body is struggling to cope with the alcohol? And what if the solution wasn't complicated or scary, but simple and clear? Stick with me, because as we go through each sign, I'm going to show you exactly how to recognize it, what it really means, and most importantly, what you can do about it. This isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. And once you have that clarity, you'll feel something powerful coming back into your life again. Control. Have you ever felt your heart skip a beat, then rush, then slow again? Maybe it happened after a few drinks, or even the next morning. You shrugged it off, didn't you? But here's the truth. That strange rhythm may not be random. It may be one of the very first signs that alcohol is quietly damaging your heart. Doctors even have a name for it. It's called holiday heart syndrome, a condition where the heart slips into irregular rhythm, usually after heavy drinking. It was first discovered in otherwise healthy people who would drink a little too much over the holidays and end up in the ER with an irregular heartbeat. Now imagine that happening more often, once a month, once a week. Eventually, it doesn't go away. It becomes persistent, and that's when it turns into something far more dangerous: atrial fibrillation. Atrial fibrillation doesn't just feel strange. It increases your risk of stroke, heart failure, and even sudden cardiac death. In fact, research shows that heavy drinkers have a 50% higher chance of developing this type of arrhythmia compared to non-drinkers. But here's what's even more surprising. You don't have to be a full-blown alcoholic for this to happen. Just a few heavy nights a month could be enough to trigger the problem, especially as we age. And while doctors once thought this condition only affected people who were drinking excessively every day, more recent studies suggest that even moderate drinking can raise the risk if you're over 60. You see, alcohol is cardiotoxic. That means it's literally poisonous to your heart tissue. Once inside the body, it gets broken down into acetaldehyde, a substance even more harmful to the heart. It damages the muscle fibers, interferes with the electrical signals, and weakens the heart's ability to beat in a healthy, regular pattern. But here's the good news. This is one of the easiest signs to reverse. Instead of masking it with medication or pretending it's just stress, simply cutting back or cutting out, alcohol can restore your heart's natural rhythm in just a matter of weeks. Your heart is resilient, but only if you give it a chance to recover. So the next time your chest feels strange or you feel your pulse dancing in your wrist, pause. Ask yourself, could this be your body sending a warning? Don't ignore it. Your heart might be whispering something your mind needs to hear. Take a long look in the mirror. Do you notice your face looking puffier than it used to? Maybe your cheeks feel swollen in the morning, or the skin under your eyes is darker, looser. Perhaps the color in your face has changed, slightly redder or more washed out. These aren't just signs of a rough night's sleep. They're often your skin's way of telling you that alcohol is starting to leave its mark. One man shared a story in the comments. He met a woman, 54 years old, lively and full of energy, but she drank regularly. When he saw her again just 18 months later, he barely recognized her. She looked 5 years older, he said. The alcohol was stealing her beauty. Alcohol doesn't just dehydrate your skin, it widens your blood vessels, leading to that persistent flush in your cheeks. Over time, these vessels can burst, creating broken capillaries, little red lines that crawl across your nose and cheeks. But that's just the beginning, because alcohol also interferes with your body's ability to fight free radicals. These are unstable molecules that damage cells and accelerate aging. Normally, your body keeps them in check, but alcohol shuts down that defense, allowing the damage to build. The result? Collagen breaks down, elasticity fades, lines form faster, and fat under the skin disappears, especially in the cheeks and temples, making the face appear hollow, tired, older. And here's the thing, it happens gradually. You don't wake up one day looking 10 years older, but each week, each month, the change adds up, until one day you do wake up and don't recognize the face staring back. For many people, this aging is the wake-up call, not because of vanity, but because it's visible proof that something is going wrong on the inside too. But just like with your heart, your skin can recover if you give it a chance. Instead of investing in anti-aging creams, expensive facials, or miracle serums, the most powerful way to restore your skin might be to stop the damage at its source. Your face tells the truth. You just have to listen. And if you're starting to notice these changes, ask yourself, is this just age? Or is alcohol speeding up the clock? Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you were there? Maybe you lose your train of thought mid-sentence, or struggle to remember names you used to recall instantly. You tell yourself it's just part of getting older. But what if it isn't? What if it's your brain's quiet cry for help? Alcohol doesn't just affect your liver or your stomach, it changes your brain, physically, chemically, and structurally. And those changes can start long before anyone notices on the outside. Let's talk about blackouts. These aren't moments where you pass out, quite the opposite. You're fully awake, interacting, even laughing. But later you remember nothing. That's not just drinking too much. It's a sign that alcohol is disrupting your brain's ability to form long-term memories. In fact, blackouts are a neurological malfunction. Your hippocampus, the memory center, is temporarily shut down by ethanol. But even without blackouts, alcohol chips away at memory slowly. Recent studies show that just 8 drinks a week, about 1 a day, can increase your risk of small blood vessel damage in the brain by 133%. These are the same types of injuries seen in early Alzheimer's disease. It starts small, forgetting words, losing focus, feeling foggy, but over time it expands. Alcohol affects decision-making, attention span, emotional regulation, and not in extreme drinkers only. Moderate, long-term drinkers show significant cognitive decline compared to non-drinkers, especially after age 60. And the scariest part? Many of these changes are permanent. But there is hope. In many cases, when people quit drinking, their brain begins to heal. They report better focus, sharper memory, a return of mental energy they hadn't felt in years. One man wrote in a comment, "I didn't realize how much of my old self I had lost until I got sober. The fog lifted. I remembered how it felt to be me again." Instead of chalking up mental slips to age, what if you saw them as warning signs, not to scare you, but to guide you toward healing? Your brain is the most precious thing you own. Don't let alcohol slowly rewrite who you are. You deserve to feel clear, focused, and in control, because that's not a luxury. That's your right. Let me ask you something simple. When was the last time you checked your blood pressure? If it's been a while, you're not alone. High blood pressure is called the silent killer for a reason. It creeps up with no symptoms, no warning. But the damage? It's happening behind the scenes every single day. And alcohol is one of its fastest triggers. Here's what the science says. Drinking just 10 to 20 grams of alcohol a day, that's about 1 to 2 standard drinks, can significantly raise your blood pressure. Not in a few years, but within weeks. And if you're drinking more than that, especially on a daily basis, the risks skyrocket. One study on women found that drinking 4 or more drinks per day more than doubles the risk of hypertension. For men, the risk is even higher, up to 4 times more likely than non-drinkers. But what does high blood pressure actually do? It puts strain on your heart, it stiffens your arteries, it damages your kidneys, and it dramatically raises your risk of heart attack, stroke, and heart failure. The CDC estimates that over 350,000 Americans die each year from complications related to high blood pressure. That's nearly 1,000 people per day. Yet most people don't know they have it, or they ignore it, blaming stress, aging, or genetics. Meanwhile, they continue drinking, not realizing the connection. One man in the comments wrote something that stuck with me. My blood pressure hit 283/180. I didn't want to drink, but I got so sick when I stopped, I kept going. I hated it. That's the trap. Your body is crying out for help, but withdrawal symptoms keep you caught in the loop. Here's the hope. Unlike many chronic conditions, alcohol-induced hypertension is highly reversible. In one story, a man quit drinking for just 2 weeks. He lost 10 pounds, his heart rate dropped, his blood pressure decreased by 20%, and he felt better than he had in years. Instead of managing blood pressure with more pills, what if the first step was simply removing the fuel behind the fire? Your blood vessels don't need to stay stiff. Your heart doesn't have to work this hard. You can give your body the chance to heal before the silent killer becomes something much louder. It starts with awareness and a single decision. Here's a tricky one, because it goes both ways. Some people gain weight when they drink, others lose it, and both can be signs that alcohol is quietly hijacking your metabolism. Let's talk about the weight gain first. Alcohol is, without question, one of the most calorie-dense substances we put in our bodies. A single drink can run you anywhere from 100 to 200 calories. And that's not counting the mixers, the snacks, or the late-night food cravings that come with it. Now imagine having just 2 or 3 drinks a day. That's an extra 500 calories every single day. But it's not just the numbers. Alcohol does something else that's even more dangerous. It stimulates your appetite. You don't just eat more when you drink. You crave the wrong things: salt, sugar, fat. Scientists believe alcohol interferes with the hormones that regulate hunger, making it harder for your body to know when it's full. The result? You gain weight without realizing why. Your clothes fit tighter. Your energy dips. You feel uncomfortable in your own skin. And then there's the other side. Some drinkers lose weight, and not in a healthy way. One woman in the comments wrote that she used to drink 2 liters of vodka a day. Her face was bloated, her stomach swollen, but she was skin and bones. 6'3" and 140 pounds. No muscle, no strength. When you drink heavily, your body often prioritizes alcohol over food. You skip meals. You forget to eat. Your digestive system gets damaged. And the nutrients you do consume, they're barely absorbed. That's why so many long-term drinkers suffer from malnutrition, even when they don't look it. It's a cruel trade-off. You might lose weight, but you're also losing bone density, muscle mass, and brain volume. And the worst part, you might feel stuck in either direction. People say, I quit drinking, but I started eating everything in sight. Or I only eat when I drink, so I can't stop or I'll waste away. Both are warning signs, not of weakness, but of imbalance. Your body isn't getting what it needs. But here's what's remarkable. When people stop drinking, their weight often begins to normalize. Without extreme diets, pills, or shame, you gain back muscle, you lose the puffiness, your appetite stabilizes, and for the first time in years, your body starts to feel like it's yours again. So whether the scale is creeping up or dropping fast, ask yourself what's really driving the change. Your weight isn't just a number, it's a message. Are you listening? Let's take a step back. We've talked about your heart, your face, your brain, your blood pressure, your weight. 5 different systems, each sending quiet signals that something isn't right. It's a lot to take in, I know. But here's the question I want to leave you with. What would happen if you stopped? Not forever, not even perfectly, but just long enough to give your body a break. Would the swelling in your face go down? Would your memory come back sharper? Would your heart beat steady? Would the scale finally move in the right direction? The answer for most people is yes. In fact, in a 2024 study, people who reduced or stopped drinking saw a 23% drop in risk for major cardiovascular events. Things like heart attacks, strokes, or sudden death. And that was just from cutting back. But beyond the numbers, there's something even more important: how you feel. People often describe it as a fog lifting, a return of clarity, energy, joy, presence. One man said, I didn't even know how numb I'd become until I wasn't numb anymore. Another wrote, I finally feel like I'm aging, the way I'm supposed to. Not faster, not falling apart, just naturally, gracefully. That's what we're talking about here. Not just living longer, but living better. Instead of being dragged through your later years by health problems, medications, and regrets, what if you stepped forward with strength? What if you gave your heart, your brain, your skin, and your spirit a chance to catch up with the life you still want to live? There is nothing weak about needing help, but there is something incredibly strong about deciding to change, even if it's one small step at a time. So if anything you've heard today felt familiar, if even one of these signs hit home, don't brush it off. Listen to what your body is saying. You still have time. You still have choice. And if you're willing to take that first step, your body's ready to meet you halfway. If this video struck a chord with you, don't stop here. You've just uncovered the 5 warning signs that alcohol might be silently impacting your health. That's the first step, awareness. But what comes next? Because knowing the problem isn't enough. You need a path forward. Something simple, something that works, and something that doesn't rely on willpower alone. That's exactly why I created a free training video that you can watch right now. It reveals 3 powerful secrets to regaining control over your drinking, even if nothing has worked before. In that video, I'll walk you through what I call the dark conditioning, the hidden root cause behind 99% of alcohol struggles. I'll also show you how to reverse it using a method I've taught to people from NASA, PayPal, Google, and everyday folks just like you. This isn't rehab. It's not AA. And it doesn't require you to call yourself an alcoholic or go to meetings. It's about freedom, quietly, privately, at your own pace. So if you're tired of the cycle, tired of the way alcohol makes you feel, and ready to find a better way, click the video that's on your screen right now, or check the link in the description. You've made it this far. That means something. Maybe today is the day everything starts to shift. Not someday, not next year. Now. Click the video. I'll see you there.